So I just got done watching a debate between James O'Brien, LBC's James Bryan, and Piers Morgan on wokeism, like culture war, transgender issues, all this sort of stuff, and watching Piers Morgan fumble around with trans politics as usual while decrying the rise of wokeism and all this sort of thing. And I in this interview, this stands as no more perfect an example, I don't think, of the right-wing media basically manufacturing wokeism where it doesn't really exist. And he picks up very interestingly on the story of a Google UX experience manager redesigning a salad emoji to make it more inclusive for vegans. And what they did, that the emoji of the salad initially had an egg in it, so it was like a Caesar salad or something. What's a salad? Is it niçoise salad with the egg? It's not important. I'm not gonna get sucked down that rabbit hole. But yeah, okay. So the salad with an egg in it. They took the egg out of the salad to make it more inclusive for vegans. I've been reading on this now from 3 different sources. I'm currently on cnet.com, and it provoked furious backlash online among hosts of different people, including vegans themselves, who like piped up and said like, oh, how did I ever cope, before seeing an egg in an emoji? Oh, thank you so much, Google, for this sort of pandering and condescending move. But the way that Morgan brought it up in that interview with James O'Brien was as though vegans themselves, with the wording that he used, he deliberately implied that vegans themselves have been petitioning Google to get a little cartoon of an egg removed from a fucking emoji. This is nonsense, obviously. Who the fuck will go out of their way? Who has enough time on their hands, one thing, to go out of their way to get a cartoon egg removed from an emoji? However, if you listen to Piers Morgan, right, and you follow his way of thinking, and you can't quite navigate with the craft work of tabloid language that he kind of like bubbles out of him. If you can't quite navigate your way around it, and James O'Brien missed a trick on that because he wasn't familiar enough with that story, and I was able to tell in that interview he didn't know enough about the story. Otherwise, he could have shot Piers Morgan down in flames. And I think that Piers Morgan brought that up. He's like, I'll try and get you on that, because you won't be able to respond to that well enough, because I'm well versed in all this gibberish that was first broken on Sky News, of all places, I think, Mashable, Daily Mail, of course, Design Boom, Vice. Interesting. Did Vice come out with it first, though? Sky News was a slow news day for Vice, so they decided to go for that one. But in any case, the media picked up on this initially as an example of wokeism gone too far. But what this really is, that this is an incredibly small, inconsequential, probably off the cuff decision by a UX designer of emojis employed in Google, and it's the media themselves initially trying to make a mountain out of the molehill, and by saying, oh, vegans, oh, the woke, oh, the left, oh, whatever next, whatever will it be, and trying to deliberately inflame people, and then it becomes a huge thing on Twitter, kind of quixotically among vegans themselves. Very interesting. There's the enemies of wokeism exist on the left, and they are vegan, it would seem. However, if you listen to Piers Morgan, you, I think, are at risk of believing that there's hordes of angry blue-haired people who are angrily coming for your career, your money, suing you for discrimination over your bigotry or whatever it is, your cock, I don't know, or whatever, when nothing could be further from the truth, and it is all just trumped up fluffer. And there it is in the interview with James O'Brien, being very kind of deliberate in his phrasing there, I think, or very subtly including that implication, or making that illusion, implying heavily that vegans had demanded this from Google when they hadn't. Stupidity. And wokeism, largely an invention of the media, largely an invention of the right-wing media that Morgan represents. And James O'Brien just sits in his newsroom or like studio at LBC and seems oblivious to its existence, whereas he is, of course, like an archetype of PC wokeist, blue-haired, lesbian, transgender culture. Clearly. Thank you everyone for watching. Bye bye. Love you lots. It was too long now.